with significant logistical, security, and infrastructure costs, which strain the national budget. By reducing the scale of the event, we wish to demonstrate a commitment to fiscal responsibility and the efficient use of our limited resources. Fiscal prudence has become imperative for navigating the severe economic crisis that has recently confronted our country. The state spent 15 million Ghana cedis on last year's celebration in Koforidua and spent 13.7 million cedis on the previous year's celebration in Ho, in the Volta region. This year, we received estimates of at least 20 million Ghana cedis for holding the event at the Independence Square on the same scale as the previous years. In a year when we are calling on all to sacrifice, including workers who have graciously accepted a base pay adjustment far below the rate of inflation, it is unconscionable to spend that kind of money on a few hours of celebration. Today's event would save us 95% of the estimated cost of the event. Nonetheless, this scaled-down celebration does not diminish the importance and significance of this occasion in any way. Ghana's independence is the single most important event in our history, as it sets out us on the path of nationhood. It is even more significant because it lit the flame of independence in sub-Saharan Africa by inspiring other countries yoked to colonial exploitation to seek independence and self-determination. This day must therefore always be commemorated, but when reality calls for a different approach, we must heed it and act accordingly. Moreover, hosting the celebration here at the Presidency preserves the symbolic essence of Independence Day while demystifying the seat of government. Fellow compatriots, Independence Day celebrations serve as an opportunity for us to remember our nation's struggle for freedom and to honor the sacrifices of our forebears who led that struggle for self-rule. It reinforces our national identity, our unity, and patriotism, while offering a moment for reflection on our progress and the challenges ahead. It presents an opportunity for us to recount our history, picking the lessons it teaches, and thereby forging a new path for progress and development. Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the founder of our nation, envisioned an industrialized, self-reliant Ghana, whose citizens have the highest standard of economic life and the greatest sense of self-esteem rooted in patriotism and Pan-African unity. But on February 24, 1966, a joint military and police coup d'etat shattered that dream, plunging Ghana into decades of instability and military takeovers. The verdict of history is now loud and clear. Declassified documents from the United States archives reveal that this was a coup inspired and engineered by the CIA. This remains the most regrettable and darkest moment in our nation's history. That moment sparked a series of historical events that have set us back and significantly delayed our attainment of the objectives of nationhood. We have had moments of triumph and moments of anguish. We have now blossomed into a fully fledged democracy with a healthy culture of peaceful power transfers. We must, however, remind ourselves that democratic participation transcends just the act of voting. It is fundamentally about accountability and the security needed to demand it. It is about safeguarding the people's freedoms and rights and fulfilling the promises of socio-economic prosperity enshrined in our founding document. Our history is complex, marked by struggle, resilience, and renewal. But through it all, one truth stands firm. The unbreakable will of the Ghanaian people has ensured that no matter the twists and turns, our democratic spirit endures and our destiny remains in our own hands. While we reflect on our journey, we must also review our standing today. We must assess our economic outlook, education and human resource development, natural resource management, national security, and our governance arrangements. It is essential for us to conduct a thorough review of our healthcare system, agriculture and food security, infrastructure and urban development, and the role of science, technology, and innovation. In this era of green transition, we must recognize our unique circumstance that is a nation rich in natural resources, yet vulnerable to climate change, and we must chart a path that balances sustainability with economic growth. 18 years ago, as we marked our Golden Jubilee, 50 years of independence, we celebrated offshore gas and oil and gas discovery. It was a moment of great optimism, promising a new era of economic transformation and attracting significant investments into Ghana's petroleum sector. However, in recent years, poor choices have stunted our prospects and left us reeling from serious challenges. This stark reality, far from dampening our spirits, must spur us on to strive for rapid development. For if our forebears, armed with far less, did not permit their backs to be broken by a repressive and exploitative colonial administration representing an imperial power, how can we, their progenies, armed with far more, despair in the face of these challenges? Rather than perpetually decrying our failures, every anniversary of our independence must present an opportunity for us to account for the legacy we are building for our next generation. We of this generation are merely custodians of this country and resources. They are entrusted to us to manage them wisely today for the generation of tomorrow. These independence anniversaries must therefore be a moment of reflection, not on what we have done for ourselves, but on how well we have stewarded national assets for those we will hand them over to in the future. Our story cannot be one of missed opportunities. It must be one of continued effort to achieve far more than we can boast of now. Posterity will not accept our failures or take them kindly. As President, I'm committed to providing the bold leadership and the clarity of vision that is needed to navigate the turbulent economic waters we are sailing in currently, while safeguarding our future. Discussions about our independence often highlight our reliance on imports, on donor aid, and IMF bailouts as signs of continued dependence. This reminder is repeated so often that while undeniably real, it risks becoming a cliché. Yet the entire efficacy of this reminder lies not in just repeating it, but in our willingness to take decisive action. Actions that will break the chain of dependency, not just the empty rhetoric of an Africa that is beyond aid. Proclaiming self-reliance while marching straight back to the donors, into the hands of the donor agencies, begging bowl in hand, is really meaningless. To break this cycle of dependence and reset our economy, my administration is formulating policies based on fiscal discipline and living within our means. We're striving to expand our economy to yield prosperity for all. And to do this, we must look within and make sure that we are raising revenue domestically. This administration is working to implement the 24-hour economy program to ensure that our economy never goes to sleep. This will allow us to create the necessary job expansion, boost productivity, increase our exports capacity and trade footprint, and also reduce our dependence on foreign aid. The US dollar $10 billion Big Push initiative will also modernize our infrastructure. It will create jobs, it will stimulate local industry, ensuring that our development is driven from within rather than funded from outside. Agriculture remains our biggest opportunity to reduce import dependence. With over $2 billion spent annually on food imports, The Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda is structured to strengthen local agribusiness and ensure food security. The Feed Ghana program will drive mass food production and stabilize food prices. At the same time, the Poultry Farm to Table initiative, otherwise referred to as Nkukong Kitenkete program, will boost domestic poultry production and processing to directly address our 95% reliance on imported poultry products. The success of these policies depend on active citizen participation, particularly from our young people. The AgriNext program will equip 30,000 young people with land, training, and agribusiness opportunities. Farmer service centers in every district will provide access to mechanization services, quality seeds, and fertilizer to boost local food production. My brothers and sisters, this is a defining moment, but policies alone, no matter how well couched and no matter how well-intentioned, will not change our reality. Action will change that reality. As President, I'm taking the necessary action to create growth opportunities and enhance our economic independence. Young Ghanaians must step up to the plate, seize these opportunities, and contribute to building a self-sufficient nation. Ghana's economic future is in your hands. Fellow Ghanaians, the 1992 Constitution has provided a stable framework for governance and delivered the most extended period of constitutional democracy in our nation's history. However, like any enduring legal and political framework, it has flaws and loopholes. Recognizing the need for refinement, the late President John Evans Atta Mills initiated a constitutional review process in 2010, leading to the establishment of the Constitutional Review Commission. The previous administration of Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo also undertook some constitutional review. Considering evolving national and global dynamics, I have constituted a new review committee to undertake a comprehensive and inclusive reassessment of our Constitution. This endeavor is essential as the strength of our democracy, the integrity of our constitutional order, and the rule of law requires continuous renewal. We must not allow weaknesses in our governance framework to fester until they threaten national stability. Instead, we must take proactive steps to reinforce the very foundation of our democracy. I therefore urge all Ghanaians to participate in this process by submitting their recommendations and memoranda to the committee. This is an opportunity to ensure that our constitutional framework truly reflects the collective aspirations of the Ghanaian people and serves as a robust instrument for national progress. My brothers and sisters, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah understood the essence of unity, not only in Ghana, but on the entire African continent, when he said, and I quote, "The forces that unite us are inherently and far greater than the divisions imposed upon us." In the spirit of unity and brotherhood, let us not be swayed by division, mistrust, and the weight of past injuries. Let us give renewal of friendship a chance. Let us give peace a chance. This is not an invitation to simply forget the past. Far from it. It is an invitation to live above it. Fellow countrymen and women, 2 years from now, our dear nation Ghana will celebrate its 70th anniversary of independence. This is our moment in history. We have endured trials, we faced challenges, and carried the burden of our struggles, but we have never given up. Through every storm and shadow, we have kept the flame of hope alive. And now, at this critical juncture, we must rise with courage, determination, and unwavering belief that a brighter future is just within our grasp. Let us reflect on the great movements that have transformed the world, the movements that have liberated us from the bonds of colonialism, and the voices that shaped our path to democratic rule. Before these, people thought it was impossible. It is not impossible for us to create a better life for our people. It was ordinary people, workers, dreamers, farmers, students, the young and the old, who refused to accept the way things were. They marched, they spoke out.
That was the 68th Independence Anniversary Address by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. Shall we please give him a round of applause? Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the parade commander will now invite the Forces Sergeant Major, Chief Warrant Officer Ado Daniel, to lead the contingent to give 3 hearty cheers to the President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Forces Sergeant Major, to the front. Yes, sir.
Chief Warrant Officer Ado Daniel attended Nkwanta Secondary School in the OT region of Ghana for his ordinary level certificate and Kumasi Polytechnic for Royal Society of Arts accounting option. He holds a higher national diploma in accounting from the same institution.
Good morning, Your Excellency. May I have your permission to carry on with the year? Your Excellency. Yes, Your Excellency.
Chief Warrant Officer Ado Daniel was awarded with the Long Service and Good Conduct Medal when he attained 15 years in the service with unblemished record.
Remove headdress. Remove. Three heavy cheers for the review officer, the President, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama. Yay! 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 Hey! Yay! Abwabilibo, Jatabilibo, Oide. Abwabilibo, Jatabilibo, Oide.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Forces Sergeant Major, Chief Warrant Officer Ado Daniel, leading the contingent to give 3 hearty cheers to the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the parade commander will now ask permission to march off the colors.
Your Excellency.
Distinguished guests, the color party will march off parade.
March off the colors. By the center. Quick march. And direction right. Right. Go. One.
Please be seated. I humbly request that we remain seated as our dignitaries take leave of us. The President will shake hands with the chiefs and other dignitaries before he leaves. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen.
Up. Up. Right.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please let's all be seated. The parade is not over yet. Please let's be seated. Thank you. Distinguished guests, please let's be seated. The president will depart soon. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please let's be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, there will be an anniversary fireworks display by the Ghana Armed Forces at the Old Revolution Square, opposite the ceremonial gate to the presidency at 7 p.m. Thank you.
Hey! Hey! Huh! Go! Hey! Up! Right, we'll march off in column of trees. Move! Right in column of trees. Right and left! Ha! Run! Take post!